everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are going to talk about the Twilight Zone Season 1, Episode 32. It is called A Passage for Trumpet. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. This episode is about a trumpet player who's an alcoholic. He's down in his luck. He's not been accepted back into the clubs to play. And he actually, for the second time in about 3 episodes, we have a character who seemingly just decides to commit suicide, although in a very different presentation this time. And this one's a bit more, it's a Wonderful Life. It's a bit more about him seeing the world, not exactly without him. It's not quite It's a Wonderful Life in that sense. It's more like he sees the world full of ghosts, and he sees what it's like to not be a part of the world anymore, and ultimately makes the choice that he wants to live again. That's the basic gist of this, and we'll get into the details as always, but that is the premise. Tara, what did you think of A Passage for Trumpet?
Yeah, it's interesting that we've had so many suicidal episodes, but I like this one too. I mean, they've all been pretty good, to be honest, but yeah, I definitely liked it. It still had something more unique from the other ones that made it its own.
I think this one I'm a bit more lukewarm on, because it feels like the actual suicidal element doesn't feel as well done as A Stop at Willoughby. You know, that one was very dark. You know, it was this kind of like character study of this man who, as we realised what he was going through and that no one was willing to help him, it was a really dark, biting episode. This episode, I felt like the actual, taking of his life felt a lot more cliched, probably just because I had to do it much quicker, because he gets to that point, in the first, 6-7 minutes of the episode. And then the back half of the episode, like I say, It's a Wonderful Life. It also has a lot of shades of other episodes we've already had. I mean, it's not exactly death, but until we find out the character's name is Gabriel, it's essentially another personification of death in some form. The conversation he has where he's talking about what this place is and what the ghosts are is very reminiscent.
Yeah, plus we get another personification of the afterlife, even though it's not technically heaven or hell. It's something else.
Yeah, so it's kind of hitting some of the same beats that like 6 or 7 episodes have so far, which is kind of insane, because it was only, I think it was episode 28 was A Nice Place to Visit. So it's not even been that long since the last one. There's been like 4 episodes since the last Heaven or Hell. In that case, it was literally Heaven or Hell. Wait to the end to find out which one. So I'm a bit of a look forward. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's a particularly great episode either, because it kind of covers a lot of the same ground. But not as...
No, you're right. This one is more of the It's a Wonderful Life. Like, he doesn't really have a whole lot to live for, except that he has an extraordinary talent that he can still use to give something back to the world. And I think that's part of the point of the episode, is that to remember what you can give rather than what you don't have.
Yeah. I mean, the message is fine. I don't have a problem with the message. It's just that it does feel like almost like a greatest hits of like a few other episodes that we've already had, which is funny because we're still in season 1, and admittedly we're 30 plus episodes into season 1, which is a lot of episodes, but it's interesting to me.
There's been a lot of repeats of themes.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something we'll see in season 2, like not these same themes, but I wonder if season 2 will have its own, like we'll see like 5 or 6 of the same type of episode in season 2, or is each season going to have its thing that keeps coming back?
Right.
And I wonder if it's just a case, because Serling wrote this episode, and I wonder if it's something that he was dealing with at his point in his life. Maybe he was thinking about death a lot.
I thought that too. Like, man, there's a lot of dark suicidal themes. I wonder if Serling's okay at this point.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe like making a TV show. I don't know if this was the first one that he was like running like this, but I wonder if it was a very stressful experience. So by the time we get this far in the season, he's like really like stressed and having a hard time. I
kind of want to see what his home life was.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, so I mean, the episode, it starts off with let me just get his name because I've forgotten it. Joey. He's outside the club. He's got his trumpet, his little bugle, and he's waiting to get in. And he knows the guy who kind of runs the place, and he gets talking to him. And he's like, I thought you might need another guy with a horn tonight. And he's like, nah, not tonight. And we find out he's an alcoholic. Although, to be honest, his alcoholism didn't play into it as much as I thought it would. Obviously, there's the general idea that he wasn't happy, and that's why he was drinking, was to basically ignore everything.
Well, it was impeding what he wanted to do. Like, he wasn't able to get work because people didn't trust him. And he also ends up selling his trumpet so that he can buy booze, giving up the one thing that he loves and he still is good at.
Yeah, but I guess what I mean is, though, I thought, like, because Twilight Zone, typically if it sets something up at the start, it'll kind of pay it off in some way, and I guess I thought that there was going to be more of an overt, like, him declaring, I will never drink again, or, that's me, I'm clean, or something.
Right, or like the episode, Mr. Denton on Doomsday?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the Western one?
Yeah, that was episode 3, you're going way back, but yeah.
Yeah. I know, look at me, still got it.
Still got it. Can remember 30 episodes ago. No,
Episode names are not easy to remember.
They're not. I feel like they're a little bit easier for us because we've been talking about each one like this. I feel like, if I just watched the season, I wasn't going to remember almost any of them. Having actually sat and reviewed them and talked about them at length, it's like, nah, they kind of stick in your brain a little bit better.
Now when you review TV shows, you have to remember 10 titles per season. We're already at 3 seasons worth.
That's true. That's true. When we get to the end of the show, I think what maybe helps Twilight Zone, though, is because it's an anthology. Each episode is its just completely own, self-contained little movie, versus something like, I don't know, like an episode of Lost or something like that, where, okay, I remember some of the notable episodes, but it's a serialized show that are all bleeding into each other, so some of them naturally just kind of blur together in your head, and you don't necessarily think of it as, you don't mistake this for, Time Enough at Last or whatever. They're all very distinct, which maybe helps it. But so yeah, he pawns in his trumpet, and he gets not a lot of money for it. I'll be honest, when the guy said 8.5, I thought he meant 8,500. I thought it was going to be a really expensive trumpet, but no, he meant 850. And then he puts the trumpet on sale for $25. I thought, oh man, that stings.
Seems like a reasonable deal.
Yeah. I'll admit, honestly, Joey being shocked at the price that he put it on sale for, and the guy's like, what, I need to upcharge to make money? And I'm like, yeah, that's how this works. He has to sell it for more than he bought it for.
People used to get mad at me all the time because I was a store manager for GameStop, and we bought used games, and they would be so pissed off because we'd buy them for if you're lucky, $20. And then would sell them for $54, and they thought we were ripping them off, and it's like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna sell it on your own.
I actually often did whenever I
sold. To make money.
Whenever I sold games, I just do it on eBay to make the most amount I could back. Because if you finish the game quick enough, or you can just
go to a store and use the convenience of that, but then lose some money. It's
yes, that's the choice. Yes, but typically, if you finish a game within a week, you could sell it for almost full price on eBay. You could sell a game for $50 on eBay quite happily. Just undercut the game stores just slightly.
Yeah, most kids don't do that. They just go to GameStop and then complain that I only bought their NBA 2K13 for $4.
Well, that's
because 2K18's out.
That's their fault for being idiot children. All right, they don't. Those of us with brains.
I was expecting $50 for that.
After he pawns his trumpet, he basically gets so depressed that he sees a truck coming and he just throws himself out into it. And it doesn't look amazing. That said, though, I was impressed that it did kind of happen in the shot. It didn't cut away. Mm-hmm. So it actually is more impressive than some of the other things. I think one of the ones we brought up a lot was way back in episode 2. We talked about the little girl getting hit by the car, and it was she was just sitting there, and she didn't look like she'd been hit by anything. She looked like she just lay there on the ground. This didn't look great. It didn't look like there was much impact, but it did at least happen in the shot, so it looked a little bit better.
It looks like there was contact.
There was contact, yeah.
Even if it wasn't enough to kill a person.
Yeah. So he's lying there, and then he wakes up later, as if, and this is kind of your first sign that something's okay, we're not just doing normal real life stuff here, because no one woke him up. This woman screams as he gets hit, and people just leave him there sleeping until he wakes up in the evening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not happening. But anyway, he gets up and slowly begins to realize that no one can see him, and he has no reflection. No one can hear him. No one's reacting to him. And he expects to know the girl who works at the movie theater in the ticket booth, and it's this different person. He's like, oh, that's weird, where's the regular girl? He goes to the bar, and he like takes a drink, but he's like, hey, I know the guy who works here, but you're not him. So that's maybe your two signs of what Gabe eventually tells him, is that he's actually the only person here who's not a ghost. That's kind of the twist, is that everyone here is a ghost except him, because he's kind of in limbo, because he's had a near-death experience, but he's not actually dead. And ultimately, it's when he goes back to the club and he hears this guy. Turns out to be Gabriel, although I was calling him Abraham Lincoln.
I know, right? He is also known as Kevin Uxbridge from the hit television show Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I knew where that was going.
Do you remember the episode? I think it's season 1 or season 2. I think it's season 1, where there's like a planet that's totally unlivable, except this one patch of grass, and there's a house that's there, and this older couple lives there. And then even when like the house gets like obliterated and stuff by other like a aggressive alien race that killed the rest of the planet, and so the Enterprise will leave and come back and the house will be there.
That has not happened yet. Yeah, that must be season 2, past where I am.
It's a pretty good episode. Sorry, I just ruined it.
But that's his episode.
But he's a pretty well known character from that one. He plays the husband of the farm couple.
Sure.
Kevin Uxbridge. He's got a great voice.
I knew where that was going. The second you started that, it's like also known as, I'm like, oh, here we go. But
he does, look like Abraham Lincoln.
He does. Because even when he says Gabe, I thought, oh, that might be a joke because of Abe. And then he specified short for Gabriel. I'm like, oh, I get it. Okay, he's an angel.
Maybe Abraham Lincoln was an angel, or is one now.
Very possibly. Very possibly. He, I mean, it's just as long as I don't have to sit through Lincoln again, because that movie bored the everlasting piss out of me. But
I like that movie.
Oh, it was so
I like that movie a lot. Everyone said it was boring, and I watched it. I'm like, that was so fun and interesting.
Fine. It was so boring. It was so dull. I agree with you in so many movies, Tara. I do, but I can't do it on this one.
Maybe it's because you're just a little bit bitter.
But what?
About when we left, the Brits.
I don't give a single solitary shit.
Well, it sounds like you do. Time to get over it.
He wouldn't stop monologuing. I get it, Daniel Day-Lewis. You can do a good impression.
Don't you know anything about Lincoln?
I don't want to hear about it for like 3.5 hours, though. Oh my god, that movie just would never end.
It's great.
It would never end.
I think I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah, right. It's like 3.5 hours long. You're seriously going to put that movie on after that? Besides, you've got another film to watch. You've got a film to finish, which is nowhere near as appealing as Lincoln. Although, it's much shorter than Lincoln.
Not by that much. Thanks, Patreon.
Yeah, the patrons gave us a nasty one for the
That was supposed to be the filler movie. Like, we couldn't think of a fourth one. Let's use that one.
Hey, the same thing's happening right now. I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say that the one that I didn't expect anyone to vote for is unanimously winning a vote on Screams, and it's upsetting me.
Sense. People must hate you.
They must.
That's why they pay money.
That's why they pay money
Just to torture you.
I can be okay with that. I could be okay. Go and torture me more at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV for as little as $1 per month. If you really want to torture me, though, you get some higher tiers. But anyway, I heard
so much. Oh, the torture.
So Gabe basically explains where he is and what's going on, and it says, hey, like, because Gabe's playing a trumpet when he first sees him, and Joey gets a shot of it and plays some music, and it's like magical for him, it's this transcendent experience. It's like, say, you still have something to offer, and where did the magic go? Where did all the passion go? He's like, well, I used to have friends and people I cared about, but it all went kind of away. And obviously there's the implication here that it went away along with him becoming an alcoholic, that those things kind of went hand in hand. Never gets too overtly into it, though. Kind of just lets it there for us to kind of piece together ourselves. But ultimately, he decides that he wants to live again. That he wants to, bring his magic to the world and offer something back. So we have Gabe walking away down the dark tunnel, as it were, and into nothing. And Joey runs after him. And when he gets to the end of the alleyway, though, he looks, both sides, can't see him. Gabe's gone. So he wakes up. And he goes in and buys his trumpet back because the guy who hit him comes out and bribes him so he won't go to the insurance companies because he's never had an accident. He's like, here, be a good guy. No doctors, no insurance. Have some cash. So he buys his trumpet back and we see him playing in the roof of his building where he meets a woman who's just moved to the city and wants to be shown around. So after deciding he wants to live, he has somehow gotten his money back to buy his trumpet. And then immediately met a woman who the end of the episode would imply that he's probably going to live happily ever after with. So
that's why, yeah. I mean, you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
Ladies love music, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's just passionate about something, isn't it? He cares about something. He's not lost. He's got mojo about something. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say I really like the music in this. Also, every time he played, or even when Gabe played the trumpet, like, it was really nice. I liked listening to it. Like, very impressed.
Yeah. No, music's fine.
Normally, that kind of stuff doesn't really affect me very much when it's in a TV show or a movie where someone's like fake playing the violin. But in this one, I'm like, oh, it's really nice. Like, I could listen to this too. He's really talented. He should live.
He should live. Yeah. No, but I think it's an okay episode. I feel like it's a bit of a mishmash of previous ones, and I guess the decision to actually like jump out in front of the truck just didn't feel as earned to me as like all the stuff in like Stop at Willoughby. I thought was like an excellent
Willoughby
episode.
is perfect, I think. But I mean, this one it implies that, or he even says that he has nothing left. Like, once he gets rid of his trumpet, all of a sudden he's got nothing else. He's just got the alcohol. Once he runs out of money, that's it for the alcohol too. So I think that was the motivation.
Yeah. So yeah, an okay episode. But
yeah, pretty good.
Perhaps not one that will be making our top 10 at the end of the season. We shall see how things go. But of course, we do get.
It's coming up.
It's coming up. We've got 4 episodes left, and then we're done with this season. So super exciting. So we have obviously Rod Serling at the end telling us about the next episode, and again he's on the set. This is the days of him just sitting in a chair in a blank white room or behind us. I think he seems to be doing this every episode now.
I think so.
But he tells us about this weird guy who has stuffed squirrels on his desk, and he likes little kids, which I was like,
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, warning signs, red flags, someone phone the police.
Taxidermy, likes little kids, lots of red flags.
Yeah, so that was this tease. So let me actually click on the IMDb screen and read you the description for next week's episode, which is called Mr. Beavis. That's also a red flag. Very good, very good. After losing his job, his car, and his apartment on the same day, an eccentric loser gets a new life from his guardian angel, but there is a price to keeping it. Even that doesn't seem that thematically a million miles away from this episode.
No, I remember thinking that when he gave the description too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, another one. Here we go.
So someone who's a bit of a loser, has a new lease in life. As a guardian angel character, like,
I'm telling you, Rod Serling was going through something.
Yeah, weird, but we'll see how it shakes up. But yeah, so that has been episode 32 of the Twilight Zone. You can, of course, let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. You can like and subscribe, and make sure you ding the bell as well to get all the notifications on YouTube. You can support us in a couple of different ways. Of course, you can do it by rating the audio podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to this. It helps us out a lot. It spreads the show out to more people. You can, of course, also do it financially. Tara, how can people do that?
You can check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MalphasTV. Donating as little as $1 per month will get you these Twilight Zone episodes on time. But if you do at the $5 You'll get them a week early. Fancy.
I was trying to do some amateur sign language
Yeah, nailed it.
to go along with you. I did not predict you though making a mistake. You get it on time. Oh, what a promise. Obviously, you can check out other shows we do. Me and Tara do, of course, a science fiction movie podcast called The Atomic Cinema Experiment, shortened to the ACE. We have back catalogue of episodes now. I mean, by the time this goes out, it'll probably be about 30 episodes that you can enjoy, including the entire Terminator franchise. So, that's exciting and fun.
Yep.
That's how exciting those episodes are. Tara yawning there. It's exactly the sort of gun-ho energy you can expect on those.
That's not true. We were very passionate about the Terminator franchise.
Oh, we were. I mean, we're both very passionate about 1 and 2, but if you want to see real passion, 3, 4...
Listen to 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, because sometimes hatred brings out the best in us.
Yeah. We were both pretty united on those.
Yeah, although I think I love just how much you hated 3. I think that filled a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I really did not like 3. I think I was just so disappointed because I thought it was going to be a lot better.
You came
in, get for only watching something once when you're a kid.
Yeah, you came in hoping for a 6 and you walked out with like a 3 out of 10.
Don't spoil it.
I don't remember if that's what you gave it. It was in that ballpark, but
yeah, I think it was about a 3.
Yeah. So check it out. Check other things we do out. The horror movie podcast Screams After Midnight that I do with Tim, and check out other TV reviews and all sorts. Star Trek reviews that I do with Connor weekly. We're on season 2 of The Next Generation at the time of recording, so check out those. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching the Twilight. No, that's not what I say. Keep watching TV, guys, in the Twilight Zone.